Reality is not what you think. Scientists and philosophers have shown that consciousness does not arise from the brain. It encompasses everything. Here you will discover why your existence transcends the body and how you participate in the creation of the universe. Stay until the end to understand what science hides. Three of the brightest minds of our time dared to dismantle the idea we always took for granted, that reality is a simple physical stage, stable and defined. Chris Langan, Federico Fagan, and Bernardo Kastrup opened a different terrain. They are not describing abstract theories for academics. They point to the very root of what we are, and in their words, what we call reality, a mental fabric, a living process that actively includes us. Nothing you see is as solid as you believe, and nothing you are is reduced to the body you inhabit. Chris Langan formulates this through the CTMU, a cognitive model of the universe that breaks the materialist view. In it, God is not a vague belief, but the central structure that allows everything to function. Reality means identity, and that identity has the same properties religions have always attributed to it: omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence, not as metaphor, but as a logical requirement for the universe to exist. Matter, bodies, objects are expressions of that identity. They are not autonomously depend on a background process that keeps them alive and in motion. What we call the world is a display, and behind that display lies a deeper domain, the consciousness that processes and sustains every instant. That same logic explains why nothing is static. Objects seem like fixed states, but to transform they require an external power, a processing force that drives them. That power does not come from blind physical laws, but from the consciousness that inhabits the heart of the universe. Simulation is not science fiction fantasy, it is the closest metaphor to what is happening. We are participants on a screen. While the true engine operates at a level we do not see, a domain we call divine. There are no borders between material and spiritual. Everything is part of the same system, and you yourself are a projected image of that process. If this were only theory, it could pass as just another philosophical exercise. But when combined with the findings of quantum physics, the model gains new strength. What we call consciousness is not limited to the human brain. It unfolds at all levels, from quantum fields to the simplest matter. A table, a stone, a cell of everything retains a degree of generic consciousness. The difference lies in complexity. In human beings, that consciousness organizes itself into a form capable of reflection and self-recognition. Their free will emerges not as an absolute gift, but as the result of a universe that recreates itself at every instant and depends on conscious participation to actualize itself. Free will takes on a new meaning within this framework. We do not live in a pre-recorded scenario where every step is written. Modern physics shows that reality is not a fixed set, but a generative fabric in constant recreation. Every instant is produced again, every state regenerated, and in that process consciousness acts as an agent. It is not absolute free will in which anything is possible, but situated freedom. Our choices arise from what we are at each moment, from our deep identity. Yet those decisions are not irrelevant. Each one reveals an aspect of universal consciousness expressing itself through us. From here also emerges a radical vision of the afterlife. To die is not to shut down or become nothing. Consciousness does not extinguish because it never depended on the body. The physical is only a channel, a drone, as Fagan describes it. The body transmits signals, but the experience belongs to the consciousness inhabiting it. When that channel shuts down, consciousness does not disappear. It simply withdraws its attention from the body and opens to a broader dimension. What happens next depends on connection with the source of reality. One who lives in harmony with it returns to its origin. One who rejects or separates from it attempts to create their own world, but that world reflects their internal state. Thus hell a person as external punishment, but as the inevitable consequence of a being disconnected from the root of everything. In this vision, the existence of God, angels, and demons is not naive faith. It is a logical consequence of how the universe functions. Good and evil, not fictions invented by morality. They are expressions of the tension between the absolute and its limit. God, being perfect, cannot contain imperfection within himself. That boundary gives rise to an opposing force called Satan. It possesses no power of its own. It feeds on human action, collective structures, organized systems that allow it to operate. There we understand why evil in the world does not usually present itself as chaotic disorder, but as rigid, systematic, institutional order. Governments, corporations, ideologies are channels that allow negativity to organize and exert influence. Evil does not survive on its own. It requires our complicity. What is unsettling about this framework is that it redefines responsibility. We are not passive observers on a neutral board. Every act, every choice participates in the construction of order. Its opposite. Human freedom becomes an axis where the divine and the destructive find their playing field. Federico Fagan, creator of the microprocessor, states that the human body is not an isolated machine, but a field of intelligence. Every cell holds the complete map of what we are and is connected to the whole through quantum fields. Biology, understood this way, is not a predictable mechanism, but a holographic network in constant reorganization. Life cannot be reduced to mere chemical reactions. We are open, dynamic, indeterminate processes, woven by invisible relationships that respond to consciousness. Classical science trimmed reality down to what is measurable, leaving out what is essential, experience and meaning. Quantum physics showed that particles are not solid blocks, but temporary states of a field that change when observed. Observation is not passive, it is a creative act. Every focus of consciousness collapses possibilities into lived fact. This is not magicite, is active participation in the construction of reality. The revolutionary shift is placing experience at the center. Classical information can be copied without limit, but quantum information, like the experience of being alive, cannot be duplicated. It is unique, private, unrepeatable. No one can feel for you the warmth of the sun or the taste of fruit. That information is consciousness in action. There lies the frontier between life and simulation. Artificial intelligence can imitate structures, but it can never generate meaning. An algorithm produces sentences, but does not understand them. Understanding exists only where there is consciousness, and consciousness is not manufactured. It manifests. Bernardo Kastrup expands this view with analytic idealism. Everything that exists is mental. The physical world is a representation, a dashboard translating the activity of a universal mind. The brain does not produce consciousness. It is the appearance mental processes take when observed. Matter is not the source, it is expression. That universal mind dissociates into multiple perspectives, and each of us is one of them. We are not separate from the whole. We are the whole viewing itself from a particular angle. This model does not eliminate science, it redefines it. What we measure is not the origin, but the representation. Behind the obsession to control and fragment persists a single consciousness unfolding into infinite forms. Time and space are not absolutes, either only internal modes of organizing experience. Consciousness does not begin at birth nor end at death. It is continuous. Every decision is a revelation. What is uncomfortable is that it destroys certainties. You are not a productive cog or a biological accident. You are an active part of a greater process. Reality is not outside you, participating in its unfolding. You have seen how consciousness redefines life, time, and reality itself. Don't forget to subscribe, like, activate the notification bell, and comment if this content impacted you. Join us in the next video as we continue exploring what no one dares to tell.